Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Frame by Frame podcast. This is episode number 5. My name is Alex. Got my co-host Seth over here.
Hello.
And our guest today is Marissa. Before you introduce yourself, though, I got a couple of things to get out of the way. First of all, shout out to everybody who's been listening. We just reached over 50 listeners across a bunch of platforms. That's just Spotify and Apple, though, and Anchor on the web thing. So we unlocked ads, and those will be coming soon. I'm not sure if they'll be in this episode, but if they are, they'll be somewhere in the middle. YouTube isn't going to change, though, because the ads are on there anyway. But when you're listening to it on a device, it'll just be kind of between conversations, probably once or twice throughout the thing. Shout out to all my Spotify people, Apple Podcast people, and, of course, YouTube audience, and anybody who is here from TikTok. Thank y'all. TikTok's been going pretty well lately, so pretty happy about that. But anyways, now that that's all out of the way, welcome, Marissa. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Give us some context.
Right. Hi, I am Marissa. I am a furniture flipper and actress. My furniture flipping is Miss Flips, and yeah.
It's a sick name, by the way.
Thank you.
Miss Flips is hard as fuck.
No, it kind of goes hard, I'm not going to lie.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and start there then. Let me
Right.
just pull up my list real quick, and we'll just go ahead and get right into it. So tell us about what flipping furniture is, and just like how did you get into it? Like what sparked your interest?
Right. Okay. So furniture flipping is taking used furniture and flipping it for a profit. So like I personally, like, people just buy used furniture and then resell it with better staging, but I prefer to, like, take a piece and make it pretty. I like to incorporate some artistry in there.
Yeah.
And I got into it because, as many self-owned businesses these days, you get into it during the pandemic because you're bored, looking for something to do, and you need money.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was going down the rabbit hole of YouTube, which I'm not a YouTube person. I'm not like going on YouTube and looking up stuff. That was a very out of character, different thing for me to do.
Desperation to enter that search bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Super boredom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started off watching people like flipping castles, like taking old castles in Europe
Like
and
legit
stuff. Yeah.
It's a hell of a
Castles.
starting
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I know.
literally.
And I just got obsessed with them, like renovating it and doing all these cool things
Yeah.
with it. So I was like, all right, let's watch this. And the rabbit hole, one thing led to another. And I came across furniture flipping. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I feel like I could do this.
Yeah.
And so at the time I was living with my boyfriend Jordan's parents. And so I was like, guys. I know
So you
this
started
is-
it there.
Yeah.
This wasn't an LA thing.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. The only reason I
You
could
did
do
say
this
pandemic, so.
was because I was I was living in a place that had a garage.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you don't have a garage, or like some place to work, it's very difficult.
Yeah. Were they on board with it?
Yeah, they were extremely supportive.
Awesome.
And it's a lot to ask someone to use basically their entire garage space.
Yeah.
As your
So,
workshop.
yeah.
Especially like a significant other's parents, like
I
not
know.
even your own parents.
I know. So, but they were extremely supportive, and I wouldn't be a furniture flipper without them,
Yeah.
probably. So
have you always been artistic, like artsy, I guess?
yeah. So my whole dad's side of the family, he comes from 9 siblings, and all of them paint, sing, play music,
Yeah.
do some sort of like artsy
Man,
type of thing.
That's a lot of pressure.
So it just grew up.
Right?
You just run, yeah.
Tell me about it.
So creativity runs in the family type
Yeah,
thing. But like,
yeah.
just for only doing it for a year, I would have thought you've been doing it forever, because you have an Etsy shop where you sell your stuff, you do all your videos and like show how you make stuff, and I'm just like, wow, this is like, it looks like you've been doing it for decades.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
how did you become so good at it so fast? Like, have you always just been doing stuff like that?
Yeah, painting and like art and all that has always been something that I've been interested in. I love doing artsy shit. So but with furniture flipping and like the video creation and like all that sort of stuff, I used to have a YouTube when I was like a little itty bitty gal.
Were you making videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of my videos had like 10,000 views.
Ooh,
Yeah, there
okay.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was me singing and playing guitar,
Okay.
like my original music. I was
Yeah.
like a little
Yeah.
13-year-old baby, just like
Did you write it?
playing yeah.
Oh wow.
Was,
Yeah.
was it ukulele or?
No, well, that specific one that had 10,000 views wasn't ukulele. It was guitar, but yeah, it was a good
The
time.
way you just said ukulele was crazy. Say it one more time.
Ukulele.
Is that a Hawaiian pronunciation?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we'll get into
You
the
mean the
Hawaiian.
right pronunciation?
Yeah, literally.
The correct way to say it.
Yeah.
No, because I caught that too, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an idiot."
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, we're not from there. We don't, you
Right.
know.
Right.
But we'll get to the Hawaii
Sure.
stuff
It's like when
later,
you go to a
but-
Mexican restaurant and they like overpronounce it like
Yeah.
super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say chilaquiles like chilaquiles.
Have some
That's
queso,
hilarious.
please.
Some queso. So,
Good lord.
so how did you get the resources to get started? Like, what was the starting point? Did you just find something at like a garage sale or something one time and decide to flip it? Like, what was your first project? Like, how did
Right.
I guess how did you get the resources to get started?
Yeah,
Because
so
I would imagine it takes
pandemic money, stimmy checks.
unemployment. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Stimmy.
But at that point, it was kind of dwindling down. So I didn't have like that much startup money to just like invest in this business. So I bought a sander from Goodwill,
Mm-hmm.
and then I
You just happened to find one.
yeah.
Wow.
It unfortunately, like, the reason why they gave it away was because the latch that held in the sandpaper was broken.
Ah.
It's a little
So
dangerous.
yeah.
Did you have to fix that before you could use it, or did you even get to use it?
I kind of just made do with it at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually just bought my own.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing that I worked on was a table that I bought at a thrift store, and it was a very simple make. It was just a stained wood top and then black sides and legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't sell very well or very fast. I made a like a decent profit for my first flip, but like it took me a while to find my bread and butter,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
as anything. When you first start a business, when you're first like getting into something that you make specifically, like I'm sure you've experienced it somewhat with this podcast, you know, like you find the ebb and flow of it and your niche,
Yeah, you improve your
know?
workflow, you figure out what works for you,
Exactly.
all that type of stuff.
Exactly.
And was that like table like a good starting point for what you were trying to do? Or?
It was very different from what I do now, but it was, of course, you know, I always say that the hardest thing is to start,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
So it's always going to be probably bad when you first start.
Yeah, like
You know?
anything.
Right.
You got to
Like
start
anything.
somewhere, right?
Exactly.
You kind of have to expect failure almost, at least a little bit when you're
Yeah.
starting something
Exactly.
new like that. And,
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you still were able to flip for a profit. So I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
yeah. The thing is, like, man, there's this one guy, and it gets on my nerves so much. He released a video that was like, "Can you really make money like flipping furniture?" And like, you can tell that it's just super clickbaity and
Yeah.
stuff. And he spent like hundreds of dollars to flip one piece.
How much do
And
you
I'll-
usually spend?
I mean, it depends on the price of the piece that you buy
Yeah,
originally
yeah.
to flip. But I've like the two nightstands that I'm flipping now. I'm literally flipping for under $50.
Both of
like,
them?
yeah.
Like combined? Wow.
Yeah. So this man was like, "Yeah, it costs hundreds of dollars to flip furniture," and then he like the pictures that he posted was literally the piece of furniture with the background edited out. So it
Oh,
was just a
no.
black screen with the furniture in front of it. And I was like, no wonder you didn't
Right.
sell it. Like, you're not putting any
Yeah.
effort into
Into the
making it
presentation,
look
yeah.
appealing or anything like that. And it
So
just,
just yoinked some BuzzFeed guy and was like, "Hey, figure out how to refurbish stuff."
That's
And-
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
was he literally just trying to like try it himself without having any prior experience to it? Is that what he was trying to do?
So I think his YouTube channel is like dedicated to like woodworking and stuff because he has
Okay.
a proper workshop.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I think he was just trying to get views because
Mm.
his channel is a little bit lower on the numbers, and so he was just trying to get like subscribers and
Mm-hmm. yeah.
clickbait and stuff
Interesting.
like that. I think that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But
We'll get
yeah.
into your like YouTube process
Sure.
later because I'm really interested to hear about all that. But like, what is your typical like, I guess workflow when you start a project? Like, do you kind of plan it all out first and draw it out, map out what you want to do before you do it, or is it just kind of like spontaneous, like do it as you go? Like, what's your process when it comes to making a piece?
Honestly, it kind of depends on whether or not the piece is for a client. Because if it's for a client, I have to give them like a general idea of what it's going to look like, you know, to make sure that they like it.
Yeah, something that they will want.
Right. So I give them like a, you know how you can draw on photos on your iPhone? I literally go in there and like my designs on furniture are so complex. So I'm sitting there with my little fucking finger just like drawing super
you need
geometrical.
a stylist.
I need to figure out how to Photoshop this shit because I do have Photoshop.
Yeah.
You just haven't learned how to work that aspect of it yet.
No, because like I used to do photography, like wedding photography, portrait photography, headshots, and all that. So I have Photoshop.
Another artistic
because
avenue.
of that.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how to do that on it.
You gotta like. It takes a lot of time to like learn the program and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So is it kind of like when you see like an artist will. Or not, maybe not an artist, but like a photographer who does photo editing as well will post a photo, have like captions of all the edits they're going to make to it. Is it kind of like that, but with a piece of furniture, just kind of showing all the tweaks you're going to make, what you're going to do, all that type of stuff?
It's essentially because like when I do, generally when I do commissions, it's just like what I do is like art deco designs. So it's like a lot of taping and like really intricate like geometric shapes.
Okay.
But like I rarely paint a piece and then do that on top of the paint. I usually use it like natural wood and just do the lines. So the template the mock-up is usually just the finger drawn lines. Like it's bad, like genuinely
just a rough sketch.
Horrible.
Very rough sketch.
I have to tell them I'm like,
why they call it a rough draft.
Please have hope.
Yeah, now you have a body of work of stuff you can show them.
Right.
So they'll see it and they'll know that that's just a sketch.
For sure. Yeah.
But I'm sure at first, before you had that body of work, it was like kind of hard to be like, trust me.
Yeah. My first commission was this woman who wanted to buy a piece from me that I was selling on Facebook Marketplace. So she was a local Georgia girl, and she saw the piece that I was selling, and she goes, "Oh my God, I want this piece, but I want it in green." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." And we went from there. But yeah, Etsy is a whole different beast.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about like getting clients. Where do most of your clients come from, and how do you get them, I guess?
Yeah, so I list my pieces on Etsy. So of course my pieces are usually sold already. So because if they're commissioned, they're being shipped off, whatever. But I put pictures up on Etsy and then put in the description like, yo, if you want to buy a piece, like I do commissions, just you know, tell me this, and that. So they're mostly from Etsy. And then I have had a few like local people. Yeah. But yeah, Etsy is where I get them.
Have you thought about like putting stuff on kind of those like freelance websites where you can put your work out there and people can buy through there, or like at least contact you through there?
Honestly, no, I haven't. Most of the time, I'm pretty busy.
Okay, yeah.
I keep pretty consistent.
Do you work every day?
Yeah.
On stuff?
Generally. I mean, I take days off to chill.
But that's awesome though. So just with Etsy, you make enough money to support yourself and all that stuff? I
mean, it's a struggle. It's a struggle sometimes, you know, but like.
But it's worth it because you love it, right?
Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship, you know, because it's like they come in waves. Like you get a whole bunch of commissions and then you don't get any. And then you get a bunch and then you don't get any. So it's
gotta be so
steady.
frustrating because like you're like, all right, I have time to do work and then nothing's coming in. Very little's happening and you're like, all right, cool.
Luckily though, I have a YouTube channel, so like I have to have a video out every single week. And so that keeps me kind of like on track to always be making something regardless of whether or not I'm getting a commission. Because like I do sell pieces outside of commissions, but it's just like commissions are where the money's
That's
at.
the main thing.
Yeah, of course.
So
because like monetization and stuff off creating content isn't nearly as much as commissions.
No.
But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you one more question when it comes to flipping. Like what are some of your future goals that you have concerning that? Like I guess like where do you see yourself in a few years, but like what do you think's realistic in the next couple months to years when it comes to flipping?
I mean,
Do you have plans to like expand the business?
Because you're growing. Like I was looking through your stuff, and it's growing a lot.
Right. It's very professional as it is. And
Thank you.
I just want to.
What's next?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, furniture flipping isn't like my main goal. Like I'm an actor first, and then instead of waiting tables or like a side job like that, I flip furniture.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I didn't know that you were an actress first. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so
that's where Jordan and I met, is an acting school.
At the acting school in LA. That's how you guys met. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, bro. I probably should have mentioned that, but to me, that's just it's just an intrinsic fact. So I don't
Right.
Yeah.
Jordan is here.
Yeah, Jordan is.
Jordan is over there. You guys probably can't hear what he said, but when I was asking him for a couple of things, because I had things I wanted to talk to you about,
right.
But I was asking him for a couple more things. He failed to mention that you were an actress before, because I just thought you were just like artsy furniture flipping. Like I didn't realize you were also an actress.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Anyways.
Yeah, that would have been good to know, Jordan. No. But so yeah, I guess before we get to the YouTube creation and content stuff, what's the acting like? Like, are you in stuff now? Like, do you have an agent? Like, how does...
I actually have Jordan's agent. He and I are represented by the same person, XL Talent. But yeah, right now it's just auditioning for stuff, and...
Yeah, just the grind of being an actor, I guess.
Yeah.
We are actually... I'm having my directorial debut, though.
Oh, wow.
With Jordan's music video this weekend.
Oh, let's go.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, go get that promo out there.
Yeah.
Pumped,
that's
dude.
sick.
I'm so excited.
Be sure to send me that, because I want to see that.
I'm excited to see that now.
For sure. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
It's going to be cool.
Who's editing it?
Me.
Oh, you're doing it all? That's fucking dope.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm doing it all, because we have some very generous and talented friends who are helping us with it.
Yeah.
And they're unbelievable. So yeah, they're definitely like helping us film it. And giving us a location. Being in it.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how that turns out. What song is it?
It's a song that's not out yet.
Oh, unreleased. Unreleased.
So it's a new drop. Okay.
New drop.
It's called Chemistry, though. It's my favorite song he's ever done.
Bet.
It's
amazing. We'll listen to it after this. But that's awesome. That's really sick. So, directorial debut. Nice. Yeah. Hopefully that will lead into more stuff. If people see it and be like, hey, who shot this? Who directed this? That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
What's the last thing you were in terms of acting?
Oh, man. The last thing that I was in was a project before the pandemic. It's called From the Depths. It actually has over 1 million, like the Mexican version of it, like the Mexican dubs have over 1 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
But it's a shark movie, and I play the dead sister of the main girl. So it's kind of like a quirky, like cult classic type
like
of film.
Sharknado-ish.
Kind of, but I would like to think it's a little better.
Oh, of course. I wasn't saying that. Like,
shit
movie or whatever.
Damn.
But you said shark movie and then cult classic. That I just kind of where my mind went.
for sure. But yeah, so this woman, she has PTSD from the shark attack, and so like she sees the shark like in her house, and she all of a sudden starts seeing her sister and her dead boyfriend, who both died to the shark, as like these decaying, zombified people who show up in her house.
You're a zombie girl.
Yeah, and I'm the comedic relief in the movie.
It's a movie or a show?
A movie. Yeah.
That's really cool. You said it has 1 million views on YouTube, like the Mexican does.
So that's fascinating. Just like a cult following in Mexico. Have you seen like why or maybe how it got to be that way? Well, like why that dub
I have
blew
no
up that
idea.
way?
I have no idea.
I have a theory.
I mean the director and the main girl are both Mexican, but but it's not anything related to Mexican culture.
Right, it's not inherently about Mexico or Mexican culture.
Yeah, So
I was gonna say, is death a theme, like a common theme throughout the movie? Because death in Mexico isn't seen as like, death is kind of celebrated. in Mexico. Not like people dying, but like their life is celebrated and remembered.
Sure, it's not like
day.
it's not Dia de los Muertos. It's
correct.
like, but like it is not something that is like a day-to-day thing, you know? Like, it's not like it's a living thing where they're like, oh yeah, death, oh,
yeah,
right.
you know?
That's really interesting though that it just blew up in Mexico and the Spanish versions of it. That's awesome though. What does the
crazy.
like English version have?
No idea.
Okay. I want to see that though. I got to see that at some point.
You should. It's entertaining.
After this, I'm gonna look that up and add that to the watch list.
For sure.
So,
definitely do.
Interesting. So, where does acting stand for you now? Is it still at the forefront?
Well,
with
it's
it being slow right now?
kind of taken a back seat at the moment, just because it's not what makes me money.
Correct.
But it's still like, as far as what I want to do. Yeah, at the moment. Thank you. As far as what I want to do, it still, takes first seat always.
Yeah,
always.
That's your priority.
Yeah.
But you have to put the money first because you gotta
live.
You gotta live. It's kind of important. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it enough to where you're okay with it being the focus right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's better than waiting tables, like
of
you said.
course,
Oh, absolutely.
my God. I mean, I get true enjoyment. Like, I love editing. I love creating. I love filming stuff. I love, doing the furniture flipping. So, like, the whole thing of, like, being a content creator and flipping furniture and painting, like, it's a happy
Keep yourself busy with things you love to do.
exactly.
Sure.
Yes.
So that's a good segue into kind of the creating aspect of it. So you kind of mentioned editing, filming. You love doing all those things. What is your favorite part of making videos for TikTok or YouTube, if you had to pick one?
I honestly just made yesterday a comedic video.
Was it when you drop your sander thing?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. And I genuinely love making comedy. Like, comedy, it was a very recent thing. Like, before, when I was going to acting school and I was like in my high school drama classes and stuff, I was like, I'm a crier. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at drama because I can get tears from my eyes. And, like, that was, like, my thing. But more recently, after From the Depths, after I tried my hand at comedy, I was like, actually, this is really fun.
You like doing comedy more
really
than
enjoy
drama
this.
stuff?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that you were good at it, you enjoyed that comedy aspect of it.
Yeah. And so, it's just funny what happens when you stop taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah, so, like, making comedic stuff is definitely my favorite part, but I think I like what's my favorite part about, like, editing and creating is just, like, transitions.
Transitions are fun.
I love making cool transitions.
Talking to an editor right there.
Yeah,
So yeah. What's your favorite transition?
What's your favorite effect combo? Say it slower is crazy. No, but doing visual effects stuff for a while. I know I get it. It is a lot of fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I like just creating content more now. Like, just storytelling stuff rather than. That's why I started this, because, like, it's more fun to sit back, kick it, laugh, tell stories, and put it together later than to sit at my desk for hours, like, syncing things perfectly and creating transitions and everything. It's just it's a lot more work that I don't necessarily enjoy anymore. But it's I still do get enjoyment out of it, just not like grinding away at it. So aside from transitions and comedy, like, if you like, is editing or filming more fun to you?
I think
like just the process of making a video, like let's say you're doing a video on a piece you made. What's your favorite part of that whole process?
I mean, of course, making the piece is always my favorite, but
just from the
I think
production aspect.
Yeah, I think editing would definitely be my favorite, because, like, sometimes filming and, like, remembering to set up your camera and, like, figuring out, like, where to put it, like, all that shit can be really tedious and annoying and fucking just, like, it gets in the way of, like, the process sometimes. And but yeah, when you're editing, it's like, oh yes, I get to, like,
you make it your own thing, right?
You get to create the way that the story is told.
Correct. That's the best part. Nobody else can tell you how to do it.
Exactly.
Do you ever find yourself like souring your own mood trying to like set up certain things during film shoots and stuff? Like
For sure.
halfway through a scene where it's supposed to be comedy, you're like,
Yeah.
you just start getting really frustrated and you're trying to
Dude.
like, all right, and pull it together.
The most frustrating part of anything that I have ever made is when I forget to press record.
I was just
God.
about to ask you, have you ever forgotten to press record?
Who have I?
Oh man.
Oh my God, it is the most annoying thing ever.
Been there.
Ever. It's
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Because like then you didn't even lose it. You never even had it to begin
You
with.
never even had it.
Like
It's
the-
so sad.
The hours of whatever you were
lost
just
nothing.
doing.
You just
Yeah.
you were there.
Though I did lose, I went through because my phone wasn't recording because it was running out of space.
Oh,
So I was
no.
like, oh shit. So I had to go in
Yeah.
and like clear space.
Mhm.
I accidentally deleted like the first half of my furniture flip.
Man.
So it was like all the prep work, all the sanding, my intro, showing the pieces
man.
before, like
God.
all of that just gone.
That's so frustrating.
I'd have to just come back to the next
Yeah.
day and be like, all right,
Restart.
Yeah.
something
I'm going to
else.
bed.
Yeah.
I would have just
That-
sleep on that. like you
Yeah,
talked about.
it was
Man.
definitely frustrating, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta
Yeah.
do.
That's the worst when you lose so much stuff that you thought you had.
Yeah.
Have you ever had files corrupt after you
No.
recorded?
No, thank God.
The very first episode we did of this, the video corrupted. And like it wouldn't play past like an hour and a half. And it was like an hour and 38 minutes and
Oh
like
my
43
God.
seconds. Like it just wouldn't play after there. So I had to find a program that would let me chop the video without having to like render it again. And luckily there was a program out there that does that. But I lost like the audio was fine, but I lost like the last 20 minutes of it. And we weren't talking about anything
Ugh.
important, so it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
But it was still just like kind of frustrating for the very first episode
Of
we did to have an
course,
issue
yeah,
with it. Luckily,
yeah.
it hasn't happened since then.
Did
But
you
like,
find that like program that can like synthesize like between frames?
yeah, I have a frame interpolation program where like if I have a video that I'm editing that's like dropping frames, I can upscale it to like, say if it's a 30 FPS video, I can upscale it to 60 or 120 or whatever, and it'll use like AI to create
Oh,
frames
shit.
in between and fix the frame drops. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's some real nerd.
It's kind of nutty. When he
It's-
told me about that, he said it very casual. I was like, that's just a thing
you
now.
know what
Yeah.
you just said?
Yeah, right.
It's some real nerd shit that I found that you know.
Damn,
you
that's
kinda-
wild.
Just
Just being a
shit.
video editor, you gotta have tricks and
Right,
secrets
right,
and things that you know.
Sorry, did I just out your secret?
No, not at all. I didn't say the name of the program, so I can gatekeep it.
I'm
Yeah.
gatekeeping this one.
Oh yeah.
Can't let
Screw
y'all
all
have
of
this
you.
one.
Yeah, I don't know if I can let you have that one, bro.
God.
We have a friend who, this is totally off topic, but we were hanging out the other day and he was playing some unreleased music from one of his favorite artists, and I was like, "Yo, what's the song?" And he just said, "I don't know if I can let you have this one, bro." Like
And we were just like,
he was
you're gatekeeping music now? That's
Yeah,
what we're
it was
doing?
crazy.
He was like, yup.
So, a little bit more on the creation side. Two things. You like just looking at through your pages and stuff. I've seen it's grown a lot. Like you're getting a lot of views. Like your YouTube videos are consistently pulling at least close to 1,000 views, if not over 1,000 views each. So, what's the growth been like over the last few months or since you started? And what's the revenue like on YouTube, if anything, really of note?
Yeah, so the growth has been steadily increasing.
Yeah.
I just did my first ever challenge. So like I hosted my first ever challenge, I should say. So
Yeah.
what happens is there's a whole furniture community and or flipping community
Yeah.
on YouTube, and
Yeah.
so we all are in a group chat.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
a lot of us host challenges. So like the one that's coming up right now is $100 challenge where you have to flip furniture for under $100. And then I hosted an eco-friendly challenge where you had to use like all eco-friendly methods and products and, you know, source your materials eco-friendly.
Yeah.
All that.
Jordan was telling me you were big on environmentalism and
I am.
conservation stuff.
I
so
am.
yeah, that's cool. That's a really neat twist on it.
And it
Yeah.
kind of makes sense that you're flipping and reusing.
Yeah,
certain things.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that actually makes a lot of sense now that I put those together.
Yeah. But yeah, so when I hosted that challenge, that was definitely like my biggest pop off in the last couple of months, was like getting all the views, because I had a lot of channels participate, and so when they're mentioning like, oh, check out our host, and like, oh, check out the playlist, and
that's
all
what
that sort of
collaboration's
stuff.
for.
Exactly. And so I had a lot of stuff or a lot of traffic to my channel because of that. But it's a tricky thing, YouTube.
Yeah.
That was some resentment there. I could feel that.
It's just because like I've been in this for a little over a year now, and there's a bunch of people who have started with me, and who are kind of at the same level as me. And then there are a bunch of us who have started around the same time, and their channels have skyrocketed. And like they're seeing like 10,000, 20, some are even at like close to 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
And they started around the same time as us.
So they just happen to catch the algorithm.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they're talented as fuck. Like their furniture is absolutely amazing, and their videos are not subpar at all. Like they put effort into that shit and work hard. But like, yeah, it's you know, it hurts the ego.
Oh,
a little
absolutely.
bit, you know? And
I'd be so spiteful. I'd be terrible. I'd be like, how's that video performing?
It does definitely
fire
suck.
burning in your heart, like
it
should be me, right?
Not him.
Yeah.
No, I get that though, for sure.
But like you gotta ground yourself and make sure that you know, like, you know, that's their journey, this is your journey.
Everyone's
and like,
path is different.
Exactly. And it doesn't, I hate it when people say like, oh yeah, like this is all for a reason, like yada yada, you're supposed to go through this, blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's just, this is the situation you're in. There's nothing that you can do to change the here and now, so fucking get over it. Just
I guess
deal with it.
That type of mindset though that you just flamed, that's like, that helps me rationalize sometimes. So for me, it's
I was about to say you're crumbling Alex's worldview right now.
For me, that's a tool I sometimes will use. But I also agree with what you're saying.
Of course,
like the sentiment.
That's just my personal thing. It's more about for me, it's more about fixing yourself to the point where you no longer react to those situations like that. You know, it's like,
being spiteful.
Yeah, because like the only reason why you're spiteful is because of your own ego and your ability not to get over it. And so like there's no reason for me to get mad because I'm not there, they are. And so like
it just is what it is.
It is what it is. It literally is what it is.
And your time is coming. You know, the more you work at it, the more you grow. I mean, it's gonna go exponentially at some point.
I'm seeing steady growth, and you know, I'm literally like a couple subscribers away from 5,000.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy.
And that's
with
awesome.
That.
That's a lot of people.
I'm pumped as fuck.
It's all perspective, you know, because I'm sure you see those people who manage to make that big leap, you know, as you were doing the same thing, but at the same time, I'm sure there's lots of creators who wish they had your following as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to have growth and have consistency and have content going out there that's quality, because I can tell everything you do is very high quality.
Right.
I think people will pick up on that and notice that, and I think they already do. But I think
that's why you're almost at 5K. So yeah. Are you doing anything special for 5K? Are you gonna host another challenge or do any specific thing?
The thing is, I can almost guarantee that I'm going to hit 5K with this next challenge that I'm doing, because it's a big furniture flipper that's hosting the challenge. Yeah. And last time I did one of her challenges, my subscribers shot through the roof.
That's awesome.
So I know I'm going to do it, and I don't want to like do anything to upstage the challenge, you know? Like so I think I'm just going to like say a little quick thank you in my community page and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense,
Call it a day.
Yeah. Maybe wait for the next milestone to do something bigger.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. You know that challenge is coming up, and that's kind of like what you're preparing for?
It's this weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have
you got a music video
prepared.
this weekend, and you got a...
Well, I have the video prepared already for this weekend, so I can dedicate this weekend specifically to the music video.
Busy bee. That's cool, though. That's cool, though. So... I had another question, but I can't remember, so I'm not going to sit here and try to think of what it was. So, I know you had a TikTok that blew up, got like 100 something thousand likes. How many views?
400 something thousand.
Oh, 400
Oh,
something.
sorry. 400 something
thousand views.
Views.
100,000 something likes.
Wait.
Is that what it was? I looked.
Yes. Yeah.
I looked yesterday. I know it had like 122K likes, and I was like, damn.
Okay.
That's awesome. And it probably had like 500,000 views.
Yeah, it's
But-
getting close to 500.
Yeah. What was that like when it blew up? Like, how did that happen? Did you
Uh,
expect it? Like, or was it just kind of, it caught the algorithm, and then next thing you knew,
Because
it
everyone
was
always
huge?
says there's like, oh yeah, that I did not expect that
Yeah.
one. It's usually one they're
Yeah.
not
Right.
expecting.
And also, did that stunt your YouTube growth? Not stunt your YouTube growth, but did it give it a boost?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what was that like to
Um,
see it blow up in real time like that? Like,
yeah,
how
it
did
wa-
it happen?
It was wild. I for some reason, because like it was a very, very specific piece. Like I had never done anything like them before. It was actually 2 matching nightstands.
Mhm.
And I did this like this kind of mirrored effect where it looked like a fan was on it was like this on the bottom of or on the faces of the nightstand.
Yeah.
And so and when you separated it, it was like it was like 2 fans coming out like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So when you separated them, it was like this.
Like 2 separate things. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
so it was a very, very unique project, and for some reason I had a feeling it was gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Like I there's just something in the back of my head that was like, this is
Yeah.
gonna get me some
Okay.
traction.
Yeah. And you used.
You did
Um,
kind of know.
Yeah.
It was
You had a
it was
feeling.
very strange. Yeah.
Were you did you tell anyone, or were you just kind of like, I have strong faith in this?
Yeah, I mean I don't know if I told you or not. I don't think that I did.
I saw it on TikTok. I saw it at like 12K views, and I was like, "Whoa, babe!"
no, but I mean like before I even like posted it or like
right?
the night of.
Did she talk about it to
Yeah,
you at all?
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think so.
You just-
Over TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Didn't you use a popular sound? Like, wasn't it like a?
I used the one that's like I have literally nothing to say except that I made this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This came from my hands or
Right.
whatever.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Fits.
Perfectly.
yeah, but it was wild. Like I posted it at night at 11,
Mhm.
and then the next morning I woke up and I had like so many notifications just blown up, and I was like, whoa,
Wow.
what the fuck?
How
And
many
I-
did it have that morning when you looked at it?
I think like Jordan said, like
12K?
12,000
Oh,
or
wow.
something.
That's sick,
But
man.
then it just really throughout that day.
Right.
Yeah, it just
Because it blew
just
up
took
overnight,
off.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Yeah.
when everyone
Just kept
woke
going.
up,
Yeah.
it got even crazier.
Yeah,
That's really cool,
It was
though.
a crazy thing. But I forgot to answer your question about monetization and like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
What's that like on YouTube?
For me, I have almost 5,000 subscribers,
Mhm.
and I get about like
What's the RPM looking like?
it changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like. I usually make anywhere between like 120 to 220. So
Per month, week.
per month.
Okay.
Per month. Yeah.
That's still solid for you, like YouTube. 'Cause
Yeah, no,
YouTube's
it's-
kind of stingy with.
it's pretty good.
You know,
'Cause
And-
YouTube is actively like hemorrhaging money. They don't make money.
monetizing is just hard generally, like with anything, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna make a lot off of, even if you're getting ads, like you're not gonna make a lot unless you're getting a lot of views. Like 120 to 220 a month is still good for
Yeah,
for
it's
that, especially like only having 5K. That's really good.
it's a nice it's lucky that the topic that I choose, people tend to watch a lot of the video, you know, because it's
Yeah.
a whole process.
Yeah, people who are
because you want to
searching
watch
for
it
that.
start to finish.
Yeah.
That makes
Exactly.
sense.
And
Yeah.
like throughout the video, you know, there might be tools that you want to see used, or like fixes, repairs that you want to see them do, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, people tend to watch a good portion
I was
of
gonna
it.
ask, do you pay attention to like average watch time and other analytics like that?
Yeah, so I average about 50 to 60% watch time.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah.
But
so-
that makes sense, like you said, because they want to see certain tools be used and
Mhm.
certain
Yeah.
things be
Mhm.
completely.
But I mean, also it depends on the video. Sometimes I'm getting like 20%, and it's
Yeah.
just
It depends
trash.
how long the video is and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So, like long form content, like podcasts that are 1 to 2 hours long.
Right.
Usually the average watch time is usually like 30 minutes or so. just because it's long, and that's just an average. Like,
and also people listen to podcasts in chunks.
Yeah.
So
true,
you know they'll
true.
go and listen to the first half and then come back for the second half.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to listen to them in one sitting. Like if you're not on a long drive or you don't have the time set aside for it. So, but yeah, like, and then with your type of content, like people want to see the process of it being created. So it's like there's a reason to watch the whole thing because it's like people love to see that process instead of just skipping to see the final result.
Sure,
so
yeah,
that's really cool. What was it? I think I had another question. We kind of already talked about it earlier. I was going to ask you what are some other like frustrations you've experienced since you started, but you talked about not hitting record. Is there anything else that you've experienced that was frustrating in this field?
Yeah.
What do you got?
That you can talk about.
Any problem clients or anything like that?
I mean, no wait.
Jordan's laughing over there.
Clients. Yeah, just
Okay, yeah. Tell us about some of that.
Well, no. For me, it's more just the experience of buying the furniture that you're gonna flip.
Really? Okay.
That's the hard part.
Sometimes, especially like people are just.
Yeah, explain.
We weren't even flipping this piece. It was a piano, and we wanted a piano, and there's a shit ton of free pianos on Facebook Marketplace. So we were like, okay, we're going to go get a piano. And this guy was like, oh, yeah, it's available. You can come look at it. And it's like an hour away. So we're like, all right, we better really like this piano.
Yeah. It's a long way to drive for a piano.
Yeah. So we hitch my trailer to the car, and we're on the way, and it's clearly about to rain. And so we're like, shit, we didn't bring anything for rain.
Like a tarp or anything. Yeah.
Exactly. And I knew the guy was moving. So I was like, is there by any chance like a tarp that I can buy off of you since you're, maybe looking to get rid of stuff because you're moving?
Yeah.
Right.
And if not, then we're going to run late because we have to go to Home Depot to buy a tarp.
One, right.
Yeah. So he messages me back and he's like, oh, no, you can't pick it up today. I promised that my son we would have the piano until Thursday. And I was like,
what? Didn't he tell you to come look at it?
He told me to come look at it. So
he said, "Oh, you can look at it."
Yeah,
but you can't leave with
have
it.
Come on. I was.
How far were you there
furious.
when he messaged you back? Like, how far did you already drive?
Oh, we were like 20 minutes away at this point.
Oh, damn. So
you're gonna drive an hour and then just be like, nope.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, so we get there. And he opens the door. He's like, hi, welcome. So it's in here. And then he goes, yeah, so there was another family that came before you guys to look at it. And they're definitely like going to want to take it. But in case something falls through, you can look at it and see if you want it.
No way.
I'm getting aggressive immediately.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Problems are being had.
Yeah, it was really bad. And like Jordan on the way there had just told me that like frickin' Russia had just bombed Ukraine, like the
Jesus.
mall. And like I was like,
I can imagine you're dealing with that stressful thing. Jordan's like,
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Russia just declared war on Ukraine.
I was like fresh off of finding that out, and then like this man told me that. I was literally on the verge of tears walking into that house. I was just so frustrated and angry at the world, and this little man and his little head fucking thought that was the appropriate way to handle this situation.
He just said, hey, you can look at it, but you're not getting it, essentially.
He was basically like, I'm going to cover my own ass and make sure that someone takes it. But I'm not going to tell you that.
Man.
It was really, really frustrating. Yeah.
That would piss me the hell off. Because like you drove all that way to go get what you thought you were going to be able to pick it up, and then he's like, oh, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, but
and by the way, you're not getting it either.
Oh, by the way, it's reserved.
That's so, and he never said any of that to you before.
He never said first come, first serve. He never said someone else is on their way. He didn't say anything like that.
He just said you can come and look at it as if you were the only person interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
That would be my impression.
Yeah,
too.
that's what it would sound like. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so,
that is definitely the most frustrating thing, like being in a first come first serve market. Like I get it, but also you end up like investing so much time and energy into planning and picking up a piece and getting the money together and like coordinating with my clients at times, you know, I'm like, hey, is this available? And I tell my clients that it's available and they're all excited and everything. And then I reach out to the person just to make sure, like, hey, I'm coming right now. Like, are we still good? And they're like, oh no, someone came and picked it up. And I'm like, well,
bro, I just had a whole plan based around
and I had like and I literally just told my client, and then now I have to tell my client that I didn't get it, and it's
damn, man. Yeah, communication goes a long way.
It really does.
And a lot of people don't have that skill.
Yeah,
sadly.
Especially on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, you're kind of asking for trouble.
Right.
I'm not saying you're doing but people generally on like Craigslist.
I know my aunts and uncles are on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, it's the type of people you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's not your fault at all. It's just the way people are, sadly.
Yeah.
So
it's all good.
But what other things have happened when it comes to like? Okay, let me not go there. Actually, let me rephrase the question. When you go to drop off a piece to a client,
right?
What's that process like? Do you help them bring it in? Like, how do you deliver it so that it doesn't get damaged? Like, or have there ever been any mishaps?
So, Jordan is my muscle.
Oh,
he
okay.
is my lifting man.
Yeah,
so he helps me with every single piece that's local that I deliver and pick up. So he's very, very helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was this one time. Well, hold on. First, I'm going to start with the piano. We ended up getting a piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you still got one.
We still got one.
Hopefully a smoother process than the...
debatable.
Damn.
So
people suck.
No, the people were so nice. They were moving as well, so they gave us like free plants and shit.
Yeah.
And like
sweet.
they were really nice people. But the piano probably weighed about 500 pounds.
Damn.
And so Jordan and this man, I don't know how they did it. They fucking like from like ass to the ground squat lifted this shit.
Damn.
Like
put your
they had
knees into
moving
it.
straps.
They were deadlifting the damn piano.
Okay.
It was crazy. But like no, even with the straps, that thing was like so heavy.
Because like I've moved a pool table and like I can't
Oh my
imagine
God.
how
Yeah,
heavy
those
a
are heavy.
fucking piano
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
No, it was wild. And I don't know how they did it, but they eventually got it into the trailer. And then when we got it to our house, it was just me and him. So I was like, no, babe, we're going to figure it out. Because that's like my thing. I'm like, okay, if there's a problem, we're going to figure it out. So I was like problem solving, and it was hot and it was sweaty and I was irritated and I was being very mean.
Yeah.
But eventually we got it to our walkway. So we got it like from the trailer to the walkway right in front of our house.
Yeah.
And we eventually just decided that we were going to have to hire people to move it from our driveway inside.
Yeah.
So we got this
Just
piano
that's
for
just too much.
free, but had it delivered 10 feet for $300.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Did the movers show up and laugh at you?
No, they understood. They were struggling. They were themselves struggling.
Yeah.
I can't like the way that this man, he was like bones, like skin and bones.
The mover? Really?
And the way he was lifting, like his back was literally like curled like this. He was like hunched over, not using any proper like lifting etiquette or anything. I don't know how this man.
He was
Right, I was about to
lifting
say,
with
who
his-
are these guys?
Lifting
I
with his
know.
back. That's crazy.
No,
Tell him what he said.
What did he say?
He was like, "This is our second piano."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bro, I wish they could hear you. He just said, I can't.
This
Here,
is
come
our-
here. Come here. I want you to say that. Get
Hello,
on camera.
everyone. I'm gonna be here for just a brief second. The mover the mover in question, who had awful fucking posture, he went, "This is our second piano of the day."
So, not one but two pianos in the
Two
same
pianos
day.
in the same day, and I
Oh,
mean the other
That
guy.
is so funny.
The other guy was like ripped. He was like huge, at least 6'2",
Yeah,
like
yeah.
massive built guy. And
Complete
so,
opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Was
the
this like
opposite.
college hunks that
Yeah.
you? Okay, that sounds like a makeup of
you
college
got
hunks.
1.5.
one and a half men.
But oddly enough, though, it seemed like the skinnier guy had an easier time with it.
Sometimes they have like inherent strength that doesn't make sense.
He had like weird bone stuff that he felt obligated to show us. Like he twisted his back like all the way around and like bent his shoulder.
I hate
all
those
weird.
guys who are like, watch this, and they throw their shoulder over their back.
Yeah,
like, don't do that to me.
The second group of people he showed that day.
Those were the other piano people. He also
yeah, for sure.
Want to see my party trick? That's hilarious, though. So
yeah.
So when it comes to like delivering pieces that you've made for people,
right?
Is it usually an easier process than that? Like how does it usually go?
So typically it goes pretty well. There was one time where we were delivering this really hefty piece to an apartment building in Atlanta, and the door swung like because it had two cabinet doors on the top, and we were holding it sideways, and at one point one of the doors swung over and smashed like 3 of my fingers.
No.
It was excruciating. It was so painful. And
damn.
like I and like the door hit the sidewalk and it got like chipped on it.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
ask
stuff.
if it got chipped also.
Yeah,
Damn.
and I told the woman, I was like, listen, I'm so sorry about that. I'm happy to come back and like do touch-ups on it. She never reached out to me.
She was still happy with it?
Yeah, like it was a really, really minor ding. So like it wasn't that bad.
Was it,
but
like, not
she
even
saw
noticeable?
you with your fingers just like twitching.
Yeah,
It was
just
like,
shaking.
I hope this is okay.
Yeah.
Blood rushing down my
No,
arm.
literally, man.
No, but
that's a horror story though, for sure.
Yeah. Other than that, though, all of them have gone pretty smoothly. For the most part, the stuff that I do deliver is usually shipped, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I do Etsy a lot, so my commissions are usually like from across the country and stuff.
When you have to ship a big, piece of furniture, how much does it cost to ship it? Like, are you still making profit at that point?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I make sure to include the shipping because, like, with UShip is the service that I use. You can go on there and get a free quote. Okay. And so, yeah, you can put the address that you're gonna. What I usually do is since I'm in Georgia, I usually like say Washington and put like an address in Washington, not DC, but like the actual Washington.
Yeah. Literally across the country.
Yeah, and just see what like the most expensive shipping would be.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I put that on.
Oh,
like
wow.
I add that to the price of the piece. And my defense for that.
That's a finesse.
So my defense for that is like, yeah, sure, people might be paying more for
Marissa's a hustler.
For like say I put the shipping as Georgia or Washington, but they live in Tennessee.
Right.
Like they still found the piece worth the price.
Yeah.
Because they don't see that shipping is this much. They don't see that the piece is worth.
Because you do all that. They don't order it and then pick a shipping option.
So it's all standard price, so they don't see, oh, well, because we live here, we have to do this amount of shipping.
Yeah.
So it's all the same price.
Exactly. So they don't see that the price is only worth $1,500, but they're paying $600 in shipping when in reality it probably only costs about $200 to ship to Tennessee. But at the same time, like I said, they still thought that the price was worth paying.
Okay.
So
it's not like they chose to pay that price.
Exactly.
It's not like you're making them.
Exactly.
And then also, you got to make ends meet. So I respect it.
Thank
I
you.
respect it.
Thank you.
That's really smart, actually.
Thanks.
Love that.
Came up with it myself.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. Yeah, that's fucking awesome, though. So let's see. What's our next topic here? Yeah, I think we're pretty much done with the creation stuff. Unless you have any other questions.
No,
I feel like
you answered pretty much everything.
Yeah, you've answered everything. Look, this has been awesome. This is exactly how I wanted it to go, and then some. So let's kind of go, and we mentioned Hawaii very, very early.
Right.
I'm probably saying Hawaii wrong, because
I've
heard you say it before, and it's, how do you say it?
Hawaii.
Yeah, I can't.
It's
Hawaii.
I mean it's Hawaii like it.
Wow.
Tomato, I guess.
Extra
like,
syllables.
As long as you're not saying Hawaii, I think we're clear.
Yeah.
You know.
So, were you born there? How long did you live there?
So
Just give us some
Yeah,
some
so
background on
I
that.
was born and raised on Maui. I lived there until I moved away for college.
Okay.
Oh wow, so you were there for your whole life almost.
Yeah. So I moved away when I was 19, and then moved to LA, and yeah. So yeah.
I have a couple questions about Hawaii. I want to know if this is true. So, does it feel any different living there than continental U.S. besides the weather? Like, does it feel like the U.S.?
No.
What ways?
Well, I'm okay.
Besides, like,
okay,
scenery
I
and
see
weather.
what you mean. I see what you mean. So like, does it feel like it's a part of the U.S.?
Yeah, because when I think of it as like almost like just another country.
different
It
country.
feels like a
Right,
separate
right.
entity.
Right.
Right.
But like having been living in both for a while now.
Yeah, so it does and it doesn't, because I mean, English is the primary language.
Yeah.
There's no, like, you wouldn't go to a place and expect someone to speak Hawaiian unless you're in like the deep sides of like the backside of the island or something like that. But like even then, people don't speak Hawaiian usually. They speak like a really thick form of what they call pidgin.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So pidgin is a common term for just like a mixture of languages. They have it in Black cultures as well, and so like Hawaiian, and it's just like a mishmash of
Is it like Spanglish kind of? Same
kind
type
of,
of
but
idea?
it's more than two languages.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
like so
Hawaiian languages?
so
just-
no, so the pidgin is a separate language from Hawaiian. So pidgin has Hawaiian in it, but pidgin in Hawaii is a mixture of English, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Hawaiian, Portuguese, and I think that's it. But it came from, what it usually comes from is when a lot of immigrants are either working together or living together and need a common language.
Okay.
And so they form basically a pidgin language, a mixture of all of the languages that are present currently.
That's really
And,
fascinating.
yeah, so that happened when a lot of people were forced to work the cane sugar plantations and pineapple plantations in Hawaii. They forced all these people, these labor workers, I don't want to call them slaves because I don't think that they were.
Well,
I think
you're using the words forced and labor.
Forced
workers,
labor. I
so
know,
it doesn't sound great.
I know,
Yeah.
but like looking back at my school education, I don't ever remember them like calling them slave. Yeah,
Now, do
I
you
don't
think that
know.
was
That's
just
unclear.
propaganda from the school to make you guys think that it wasn't that?
Right. Kind of like how they told us that we had
no.
dinner
schools in
Yeah.
Hawaii. Like our history teacher in high school was very, very like, he wanted Hawaii to be a separate nation. He hated that Hawaii was part of America.
I was
like,
going to
all
ask you about
sort of
that
stuff.
next.
But yeah, so like I don't think it was propaganda, but like maybe, who knows. But yeah, so these people came over and worked the plantations, and from places like Portugal, China, Japan, and yeah, just
Interesting.
created their own language.
Yeah. So you kind of hinted at it. What your teacher didn't like being part of the U.S. Do most Hawaiians have an issue with it? Like, do they not like being part of the U.S.? Or
I'm not gonna generalize and say most.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Hawaiian people do. I'm not Hawaiian. I want to make that very clear. It's a very important topic in Hawaii. Like, even though I'm born and raised in Hawaii, I'm from there.
Right.
I will never ever say I'm Hawaiian because I'm not Hawaiian blood.
Okay,
You know.
yeah.
where are your parents from?
My dad is from Mexico, my dad's family is from Mexico, and my mom is originally from Louisiana.
Okay, so they're not from there,
No.
but
no,
they
no.
lived there when you were born. So
Yeah, they met
Okay.
there actually.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Um,
you don't claim to be Hawaiian. Okay, that makes
yeah,
sense.
no, that's a very big no. Even though you're born and raised there, you
You can't claim
don't
it.
claim that you're Hawaiian unless
Yeah, that
you
makes
are
sense.
That makes
Especially
sense.
if there's like 3-4 generations of family that's
Yeah.
lived in Hawaii. I'd probably
Yeah.
feel some type of way too.
Yeah, that would be like my mom claiming she was Japanese, even though just because she was born on a military base,
Right.
and lived there for a
Right.
few years
Right,
as a
yeah.
kid.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get it.
But yeah, so it's a really touchy topic right now because a lot of people want to separate from
Yeah.
the U.S. but like it's hard because
Seems like too far gone at this point.
I mean,
because like the infrastructure is United States.
Yeah, but like, and that's the argument. Like people, like Hawaii is so dependent on American trade and America in general, and the military base is like the main reason why Hawaii is such like a pivotal point to the U.S. And so obviously the U.S. probably isn't going to give up that military advantage.
Right.
So it's a sad thing,
Slippery
but
slope,
I don't
kinda.
think it'll ever happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like it's just in too deep, kind of, at this point.
Yeah.
So, but is it true that they don't like tourists, like Hawaiians, native Hawaiians, or like people who live there? I'm sure it gets to be a little much.
I'd be pretty mad.
Is it
Some guy
true
with, like,
that they're
sunblock on their nose? Oh man, we're in Hawaii.
Is it true that they're viewed as a nuisance more than like welcomed?
Yeah, it's really, really sad because like they're literally forcing people out of Hawaii, like
wow.
tourists and
Yeah.
people moving to Hawaii, upping the prices of everything. Like it's making Hawaii unlivable for any local family or most local families.
Damn.
So it's like, but at the same time, Hawaii's like their economy is just solely dependent on tourism, essentially.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like it's a love-hate relationship.
Right,
You know,
right.
you need them, but you hate them there.
Damn, that's a
and
tough
so
spot.
it's really, really hard. It's
'Cause, like-
really hard.
Like on two fronts, both being part of the U.S. and then the tourism
Yeah,
part.
and right now it's oh god, it's so overpacked right now.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, especially after the pandemic. Hawaii saw like a skyrocket
man.
of tourism, and it got pretty bad for a while. But
you guys went there not too long ago, right?
Yeah, we went back a year ago in December.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then
How was it then?
It was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beaches were wait. What? Mm.
The beaches.
Actually, yeah. No. Sorry. That was a little after. We went like kind of right after the pandemic was like super bad.
Yeah.
We went like right after
It
that.
was last year though, right?
Was it last year or the year before that, babe?
We went.
Year before that.
We rang in the year 2021 in Hawaii.
Right.
So you guys were there for New Year's. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
So 2 years ago.
Okay, so it was longer. It was a
so
little
last
more.
September
okay.
or last December we were there a year ago is what I meant by we were there a year ago in December.
It gets a little confusing, but I'm with you. You were there New Year's 2020 ringing in the new
Yeah.
I
year.
think I saw the
Exactly.
buffering logo on your forehead.
It's like when my dad told me to add some years. Like he's like, "Well, I was born in '69." I was like, "No, not doing it. I'm not about to."
No,
sit
that's a lot of
here."
math. I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna figure that one out. Not today, champ.
Yeah.
But yeah. So is it the same? Like, does it feel the same as when you were a kid, or is it different?
No.
I'm sure it's a lot different now.
What all? I won't say what all has changed. But what's changed the most since you were a kid?
The amount of well, one, the amount of people, but two, like the development, the amount of houses and buildings everywhere.
It's a lot more like industrialized. in a
Yeah,
way.
and like we have a Target now, which we never
Like the store?
ever had anything like that before. There's also a Chipotle apparently.
Oh, wow.
I haven't been to it yet.
This is just on Maui.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yeah, Oahu,
Interesting.
Honolulu, it's been developed for years. It's like the bustling city of Hawaii.
Yeah.
But Maui has always been kind of like a more relaxed, like quiet place.
Yeah.
But it's becoming so much more than that. Like there's places that were developed when I went back that weren't even close to being developed.
Wow.
When I left, and it was kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And what sucks is that it's all condos for people to rent seasonally.
Not even live there
yeah.
full time.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
For the tourists or trying
Yeah.
to bring in the money.
So
Exactly.
like you said, it's just driving the price of everything up. and,
it's
yeah.
not even like affordable living for local families or communities or anything.
Because
why
like
would they do that?
Exactly.
There's
That's
no
not
money
where
in
the
that.
money
Hey,
is.
right,
Yeah.
right. That doesn't make us any money.
Tough,
Why would
man.
we help
It's
these people?
tough.
Yeah, it's really, really sad.
The world's a slimy place, man.
Yeah.
Slimy.
Slimy.
It is indeed.
So, let's see. What else I got? Okay, so someone told me, I wonder who that was. Someone told me you were a surf instructor at one point. So, what stories or experiences can you share from that?
Yeah. So I...
Could you actually like surf? Like you were like, obviously you were an instructor, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from
would hope.
Hawaii, and so like surfing is a popular activity
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I grew up surfing. But
That's so cool.
one of my friends from school was actually like, "Hey, yeah, come over and learn how to be a surf instructor. It makes really good money." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I went down there. I remember it was the most amazing experience, actually. It was the first time I had surfed in California, and it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
A little redundant.
Oh, so
but
this
there we
was
go.
you were in LA being as a surf instructor.
Yeah, so this was in the
Okay.
school.
I thought
was
this
going
was
to school.
still in Hawaii.
No. So
Okay.
yeah, this
Got
was
you.
in LA.
Got you.
Yeah, so I was like going to school full time and fucking, on the weekends being a surf instructor and
Yeah.
stuff. And so I went there for my interview. Of course, you had to surf.
Right.
So I went there, and 6 a.m. there's a really like what do they call it? What do you remember what they call the mist in LA?
Like the
June gloom, I think.
Okay.
Um
Just like
yeah,
on
so
the
it's-
horizon on the water.
It's
like,
it's like this fog that comes in like from Venice, Santa Monica, Malibu area,
Okay,
and just
okay.
kind of sits over the valley. And in the morning, it's a really thick fog.
Yeah.
And so we paddle out, and it's glass. The water is just so silky smooth. And the fog is so thick that there's literally like a 10-foot radius around us, and then you can't see anything else.
Damn.
And so we're sitting out there waiting for the waves and whatnot. And then all of a sudden,
Episode of Survivor.
we hear like this splashing. All three of us were just like, what is that?
Because the
Like,
water's
we're not-
super still.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And like
scary.
That's eerie,
the
man.
waves are crashing behind us, and the
Yeah.
splashes are coming from in front of us.
Uh-oh.
And we're like, what the fuck?
How many of y'all were out there?
3. So
Okay.
there was me, my buddy, and then our boss.
Okay.
And so then all of a sudden we see just a huge pod of dolphins.
Oh wow.
And it's massive, like 40 or 50 dolphins, just fucking,
Really?
just so smooth and calm, just swimming by us. And I was like,
That is beautiful.
oh my God. It was the most amazing thing I had ever
Yeah.
seen. And like, yeah, it was just a beautiful experience to like for my first time surfing in California to have that.
Was the sun rising too? Like.
You couldn't even see. It was
Oh.
so foggy that
Yeah.
the sun was
Man.
like nowhere to be found. Yeah,
That's
it
kinda
was-
crazy.
So it
was
wasn't like a beautiful
foggy.
picture necessarily. It was just kind of like foggy.
I
morning.
honestly found it beautiful. Like
Yeah.
foggy, misty mornings, like
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah, I can see
twilight
that.
is like my
As
favorite
long as it's not
time
like
of day.
LA smog, then.
No. Yeah, no, it was definitely like a pretty tranquil
Right,
like
yeah.
situation.
That's so cool though.
Yeah, it was amazing. So of course, right then and there, I was like, yeah, I'm taking this job.
Yeah.
I don't care if you want me or not. I'm doing
I was
it.
I was afraid you were gonna say it was like a shark.
No,
or
no,
something.
no.
Right. Because sometimes people will see fins and be like, oh, it's a dolphin.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a dolphin.
Yeah. Get out. You know, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So that's cool though.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for I think like 3 months. But yeah, it paid really fucking well.
Was it always in the morning?
Yeah.
Like that early?
It was we had to be there at 6 a.m. and then we usually packed up around 4.
Okay.
But yeah,
Long
it all
day.
depends. It all depended on like the crowd, how busy it was, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Was it a lot of touristy people?
Yeah. For the most part, it was tourists or like just locals wanting to learn how to surf.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
a very marketable brand because he had all like VW vans that were bright orange
Oh, that's
with
cool. That's
surfboards
cool.
stacked on top of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it was very like enticing for the tourist,
That rings a bell, but I mean, you see a lot of stuff kind
For
of like
sure.
that on Venice
For
and
sure.
in LA, in that Santa Monica area. So
Yeah.
that's cool though. That's cool.
What, I just wanted to ask, how does surfing just when you surfed in California and versus Hawaii, like what are the main differences as far as
Water temperature.
that's it? I was just gonna be like waves or like.
I mean, the waves are a lot slower in California. Like they tend to just like roll, and also they're right next to the shore.
Yeah.
And the ride is so short. In Hawaii, you have to paddle out. Like you have to go really far out, and the waves last for a really long time.
There's probably a scientific geographical reason for that.
Yeah, and
I would imagine.
and reefs.
Yeah.
Because we have in Hawaii, we have a lot of shallow reefs, and that's one of the major things.
I'm sure those are beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really.
No?
Anymore. No.
Not anymore because of
they're really
pollution.
fucked
They used to
up.
be.
Yeah.
That's
They're
tough,
really,
man.
really gray and
The world
dirty.
is slimy.
Yeah, but yeah. So I would say that those are the two major things: is the distance that you have to paddle out and the temperature, because you have to wear a wetsuit in California.
Yeah.
I had never worn a wetsuit while surfing before. That was freaking bizarre
Is
as
it because
shit.
it's cold in
weird.
California?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The Pacific is very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But another crazy thing that happened while I was surfing or teaching surfing, I taught Logan Paul how to surf.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Logan.
What was he like?
He was a cock, you know. Like,
What a tool. That doesn't
So-
surprise me at all.
it was.
Yeah, tell us about
Oh, he
that.
fucking sucks. Like,
It was me and one of my other friends who was teaching surfing as well, and we both, because he came with like a bunch of his friends, because
Yeah.
they were obviously like content creating and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so he and his buddies were out there, and so I taught part of a group, and my other friend taught part of a group, and like they were just like really rowdy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Of
they
course.
were pushing people off the boards
Yeah.
and being like, ah!
bro, stop.
Yeah, for sure.
Just being tools. you
Yeah,
know.
but like the thing
Boys.
is, we didn't even like take them out into the water, which is usually what we do when we teach people how to surf.
Uh-huh.
We just taught them like how to surf on the beach, and then they took the boards out and filmed their content.
Did
That's
you,
it.
With your boards?
Yeah.
Did you let them? Like, well,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Did they come back
paid us
damaged,
money.
or like did any other mishaps happen? While
Not that I remember. He was just like, you could tell that he was like the alpha dog in the group, and all the rest were like
Right.
groupies
It's
type of thing, you know?
Did he say
And, like,
anything to you that was like,
Particularly cocky? No.
Yeah.
No, he has the air of a cock. You know?
that description
Like-
is so fucking funny.
calling someone a cock is hilarious.
It is. It is.
He just like you look at the man and you just immediately
just
know
know.
he's a tool. Like
Yeah.
it's just a
You
vibe
can hear him from
that
a
you
mile
get.
away.
Exactly.
You can see him with his group of boys. And they're all
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And
He's
they
just
paid for
something
the
else.
they paid for the experience and all that too. I'm sure, right? They had to, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So
Like,
that's
I think my boss gave him like some sort of discount because he was going to mention the brand or something like
oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
So you said this was Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
Logan Paul.
Which one is worse?
I just no
the
fucking idea.
the fighter is Jake Paul, right?
Yeah,
I-
that's the boxer guy.
Do they both box now?
I
No,
think
Logan Paul is doing like WWE stuff, so he's doing like wrestling.
Okay.
And like
Either way, I know they're both super fat. I can never tell them apart based on name
Either
or,
way,
or
I-
appearance. I don't know which one's which. I just know they're both.
I just wish nothing but
figures.
failure. And
That's crazy.
they've
Praying-
had enough success. It's not
praying
like
on
they
their
haven't had
downfall. Right.
success. I just wish for a slow fall off. That's
A slow fall off. That's not the worst thing to wish on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
They'll have their
okay.
money. They'll have that. I just need that ego to just.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Just go down a
some
little bit.
humbling
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's cool though. That I mean, I guess it's cool that you met them. It's
Right.
cool. It's cool to say you encounter famous people. I guess. As long
Sorry,
as,
it had to be that one.
Yeah, sorry, it had
I
to be
mean,
that one.
Well, I also worked at like a really, really expensive, fancy restaurant in LA, and I met all sorts of famous people.
I heard about this.
So-
What restaurant was it?
It was called Jolie, Bistro Jolie.
Okay,
but,
I feel like Jordan told, or maybe you told me about that
probably.
one time. But like, who all? Just give me like top five.
I met Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, wow.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
Hillary Duff.
Wow.
Raven Simone. Oh my God, what is her name?
You met That's So Raven. That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
Fucked up.
What's the war flashbacks?
I don't wanna talk shit. But like
Dragger.
This girl, she came in several times, and this girl, she was always with a posse of people. Like they would sit like 15 people in a booth that was max supposed to sit 5.
15?
Yeah.
Are they
What
sitting
the
on each
hell?
other's laps?
Like squeezed in,
Oh,
4 chairs
man.
shoved up to the table.
That's
Like it
ridiculous.
was
Hell no.
crazy. And so they would always order bottomless mimosas, and they would drink a lot.
Yep.
And then on top of that, this woman ordered 4 brambles, which if you don't know what that is, it's a blackberry cocktail,
Okay.
essentially. And she would be fine. Like on a Sunday morning, she would be fine on bottomless mimosas and 4 brambles.
Like not even drunk.
Like she would walk out of there and drive.
Oh,
that's
boy.
alcoholism. That's
Yeah.
pure
No,
alcoholism.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
But,
It was
it's in the
wild.
morning, so it's okay.
Right, there you go. It was a mimosa with brunch, so
Right,
it's
Yeah,
okay.
It's at
It's
brunch.
fine.
It doesn't count. That's
Exactly.
hilarious. So
Yeah.
who else did you meet?
I also met, let's see, I don't even know her freaking name. My God, I'm so bad with names, man. She
Guess
was
she's not that
she was
famous.
like
Yeah.
she was like a host of a TV show. Who?
Who?
Lisa Rinna with the fake lips.
Yes.
Looked at me like I was a
Yes, Lisa Rinna.
What the
A
fuck?
piece of meat?
Looked at you like you were
Hey,
a
yo.
piece of meat. What do you mean?
I have more. Next podcast.
Yeah, when you're on
We'll
again,
get
we'll
there.
talk about that. But was Shia LaBeouf an asshole?
No, Shia LaBeouf was very,
Really?
very nice. Yeah, he kept to
Huh,
himself.
that's contrary to pretty much everything I've heard about him.
One time he almost hit my manager with his car, but like, I mean, that was an accident,
Yeah,
I
that's
would
an
assume.
accident.
So like, yeah, but other than that, he just came in, would order a salmon entree, have a glass of water, and just have small chats.
Wow.
Like he was
That's
very
really cool. That's
sweet.
really
I
cool.
complimented his ring one time, and he was like, "Oh, thank you. I got it at this place." Blah blah blah. Like
Man.
he was very very chill.
Yeah.
And then I also met. Oh my God. Zoe Saldana.
Who is she? A singer? Actress?
Gamora. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. She was all talking about how she wanted to like support her husband while while he chased his dreams and shit. She was like a powerhouse
Girl
of a
boss.
woman.
Girl boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah,
Good for
she
her.
was really cool.
Supports her man. I respect
Very,
it.
very nice as well. And I can't remember anyone else.
So a lot of high profile and famous people there. That's cool
Yeah.
though. Is it like kind of surreal to be around them, or do you kind of get
You
used
gotta
to
get
it?
used to it at
Yeah,
some point.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've never been a person to get starstruck. I
Yeah.
met the only person that I've ever been starstruck by was Robin Williams, and that was when I was
Wow. Oh, wow.
working in Maui, and I was a hostess. And I was standing behind the desk, and this woman, very tall, beautiful, like model-esque type of woman, walked in, and with her, I'm guessing, 2 sons.
Mhm.
And the 2 sons were also like probably about 15, beautiful as well, just like a very attractive group of people.
Right.
And I was like, "Hi, can I help you?" Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah. And then all of a sudden, Robin Williams, with this soft, gentle smile, just kind of scoots his way between the sons and the wife and like puts his hands on the desk. And he was obviously with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I looked at her and I looked at him and I smiled and I looked back up and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like I was 18 years old. This is like the first like major. I mean, I saw Diane Keaton as well, but like this was like Robin Williams was like one of my idols.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Especially
knows.
as an actor,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
aspiring actor. That's
Yeah,
really
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, so it was amazing. I was just like, okay, right this way.
That's hilarious.
Like
But he was really nice.
So he didn't really say anything, but he just had like this air of just such gentleness and kindness and just a genuine human.
The anti-Logan Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, this man was for sure not a cock.
Right.
Verified.
Right.
Certified not a cop.
Certified
verified
anti-cock.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I remember hearing about his passing and just being like, why, like people who are that are like larger than life,
Yeah.
like icons. It's crazy,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Like when Kobe passed away, like it just seems like
Definitely.
those people are just like immortal.
Yeah, untouchable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then to like meet one though is crazy.
Yeah.
So
It was definitely cool.
we started talking about LA. So I was gonna ask you how you ended up there. Like you moved there for acting school. You kind of already said that, right?
Mhm, yeah.
And you were there for the same amount of time as Jordan.
A little longer. So I moved there a year before he did. I'm 2 years older than Jordan, so I went to school a year before he did. And that math checks out because I went to a year of community college.
Okay.
Um,
In California.
No, in Hawaii.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then my mom was like, Marissa, you don't want to be a psychologist. You want to be an actor. Go live your dreams. And
At
I
least she was encouraging you to do that.
She was encouraging as fuck. She's
Yeah.
amazing. But yeah, so I was out there for 7.5 years.
Oh wow.
Maybe, I think.
Dang, that's kind of a long
Or
time.
6.5, 7.
So did
somewhere
you
around
did
there.
you graduate acting school while you
Mhm.
were there, and then you lived there a couple more years until the pandemic started, and then you guys moved back here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to that night when you met Jordan, and we all met you for the first time. That was a funny time.
Dude, I forgot you were there. Like, obviously, like, every time we talk, I forget that you were one of the first people in Jordan's life that I met.
Right.
That's
yeah.
crazy. Like,
It's because at the time I was not a significant character in Jordan's life either.
Right,
I was
right.
Brandon's.
You were very much an
Right.
extra.
Yeah, I was just kind of there for the ride, if you will.
Sure.
For 2 episodes.
But a guest star. Yeah, I was a guest star for like half a season.
right.
No, but so I remember it was Jordan's comedy show in Burbank,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you were just like the girl sitting up front. Like you were a mutual friend of Jordan, and who was it? Was it Rick? Who was that?
No, that was
What was
Boris.
his name? Boris. That's
Yeah.
right. Boris.
And also my friend Noah was before.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So, but you were friends with all of them, right? And that's how you knew Jordan through them.
So Boris and Jordan, I knew them from ADA, the acting school.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
both extremely talented people. So like I followed them on Instagram.
Okay, so you already
and
knew
stuff.
who Jordan was.
You were aware of
Yeah,
Boris.
yeah.
Okay.
And we did like a cappella together, and so like I knew I knew about him.
Mhm.
I didn't know him.
Yeah, you just never talked
Yeah.
to him. Like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And so, yeah, but Boris and Jordan had this comedy sketch group on Instagram called The Gently Used,
Okay.
and they would make like musical sketches.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the funniest shit in the fucking world. I thought it was comedy
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
And so like when I found out that Noah, their other friend, was doing comedy, I remember him doing stand up for a talent show, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is really funny. Like I want to see him again."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when I found out that both Jordan and Noah were both doing a comedy show, I was like, I mean, I
you gotta
I
go.
gotta
You
go.
gotta pop out.
And so the one time that I could go was like because I kept having work on Sundays, so I couldn't make it to
Yeah.
any of the shows.
Yeah.
And this one Sunday I got off early, and I was like, oh my god, I can finally make
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
yes, I'll be like almost a hair late, I think, but I'm gonna go.
Right.
And my friend was supposed to come with me, but she ended up not being able to.
So that's why you
come.
were alone at the front.
That's why I was alone at
Damn.
the front. And so, yeah, so I went, and it was great. And, oh, right. So before the show, I go up to Jordan, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, long time no see.
Mhm.
And then he was like, oh, yeah, if you're sitting alone, my whole family is
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go
That's
sit with
funny.
them. And
Right.
like I just wanted to see comedy. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't looking to get romantically involved with this man at all. So
Right,
like
right.
you know, usually if you're not looking to get romantically involved, sitting with someone's family isn't that big of a deal.
Correct.
But
Were they
as
just
soon
all selling you on Jordan as soon
Well,
as you sat down?
I didn't sit with them.
No, she didn't.
As soon as I heard him say those words, it was like a switch went off in my mind, and I was like, too soon. Too soon. Like, I can't meet this man's family.
Right.
It's too soon. Like, all of a sudden, my mind went from being
Literally
not
that night.
romantic to completely romantic and being like, that is so much
This is too
pressure.
much, too
I-
fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no,
I
for
was like,
real.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
That's
Life
funny.
works in funny ways, man. Because so
Yeah.
after the show, I think we all just kind of
convened. Yeah.
And then we were all talking about. We were like, well, you guys want to all go to dinner? So we all go to dinner. And
so yeah. So what happened there was I was originally gonna go, like right after Jordan said I was gonna go, but then I found out that Noah was doing comedy in the show right after. But there was like an hour or so between it. And so I was like, oh my God, I think I'm just gonna stay and go to that. And so I was just gonna wait around the comedy show.
That's right.
And then Jordan's mom was like, why don't you come to dinner with us?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Classic my mom.
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So
can't turn down an invite from Allison.
Yeah. So so I was like, all right, that all works out. Like I can go to dinner with them, and then when it's time to go to the show, just go to the show. And so I did that, and was having dinner with his whole family, talking to Jordan, and
you guys were hitting it off.
It just it seemed like we had known each other forever. And it was like we were best friends. It was really cool.
Yeah. And then I think after dinner it was just kind of like we went separate ways or whatever, and then it just kind of grew from there. I guess you guys became friends and whatnot.
Was the second time y'all hung out with family or without family?
No, it was without family. It was a New Year's Eve, and he invited me to another show that just so happened to be like literally blocks away from my house.
Oh wow!
And
there you go.
I went, and it was a great time. And the rest is history.
Hell yeah. Life works in funny ways, man.
Yeah.
It really does. So let's see. What other standout experiences do you have from LA? Or what just give me one favorite memory from your time there, I guess. That we haven't talked about already.
Right. I have a rich dating history.
I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to know, as a woman did you ever use dating apps like
Yes. Yeah.
Bumble, Tinder, all that shit?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. First of all, I apologize.
Right.
On behalf of all men. But how many likes were regular for you to get on there? Would you say like every time you opened it, how many likes did you have? Because
I don't know.
Because most girls I know, like they'll show me like they have like hundreds or like even 1,000. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, I'm very picky, so I don't.
Right, you
match
don't.
up
Right,
that
but
often.
like, I'm just. How many did you have that you saw?
I don't remember.
Was it
honestly.
a full pages?
I know that. Man, I mean, it sounds braggy. Or
No,
like
no, it's not. I just want to know if
it's
this is.
not like
I want to know if
genuinely-
this is an every girl thing.
I would match with the majority of the men that I liked.
That you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like,
yes, she had. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because
she's her. Is what
right.
we're saying.
And man, that's because like for dudes on those apps, like I don't know, you get maybe a like a week, maybe or something like that. Like it's so much fewer for men than women.
The difference is so funny because it's like a barren wasteland when it's a guy and like if
so
you get one
here's so here's my thing, and it goes back to evolution, and I think I've told this to Jordan a couple of times, but like with women, we are intrinsically designed, like think of birds, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They have mating dances and rituals and all this sort of stuff to get a mate.
Yeah.
And the male bird has to literally be perfection. Like absolutely perfect. Their dances, their coordination, their wing flaps, their fucking nests that they build, they literally have to be perfect in order for the female to choose them. Whereas men will do their dance for any female bird that comes along in hopes to mate.
And we are sluts.
So I think men are inherently less picky because their goal is to spread their seed, whereas the women are inherently more picky because they have to choose the right seed.
Spread their seed is crazy, but you're right.
True.
It is true. It is true. Like
I know people who should stop spreading their seed immediately.
Some people should not have seed at all.
Not at all.
So.
But
man,
like, you
no,
get
you're right
what
though.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I do.
No, it makes sense. It's just
That
the analogy is really
Right,
funny.
right.
That analogy is perfect for that.
No,
so
No,
anyway,
that makes perfect sense.
Back to your rich dating history.
back to my rich dating
what do you have
history.
from there? What do you have from there?
So, so there's this one night. My friend and I were very active in the club scene when I broke up with my boyfriend. You know, I had my rebound hoe phase.
Yeah.
Where I just, you know, went out and partied and like met up and dated and like, you know, all sorts of stuff.
You're trying to get back out there.
Yeah. And
spread your seed.
Exactly.
If you will.
Yeah. No, for women it's spreading the wealth. For men, it's spreading the seed.
Spreading the attention that I might give you.
Yeah. But anyways, I went to this club, and there was this very attractive man who was standing in the dance floor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, I need to find a way to talk to this man. So I go up and I like brush past him and I'm like, hi. And I like go to the bar and get like another glass of wine or whatever. And he follows me to the bar and we start chatting. Turns out he's an MMA fighter.
Oh, wow.
Who's in town. He's originally from like San Jose or something like that. And he is in town for a fight. And he just had the fight that night and he won. So his manager and everything were taking him out to celebrate. And so he was going back home the next day.
You're at a fancy club.
Yeah. And at the time I knew a promoter. So it was very easy for women to get into clubs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing leads to another, and this man and I go home together. We go back to his motel room.
Oh.
And
class.
Yeah, class act. So, you know, we wake up the next morning. I'll skip ahead. And he wakes me up. It's like 7 a.m. or whatever. He's like, hey, I just wanted to thank you. I had a really nice time, but I don't want you to feel like I'm like kicking you out or anything like that, but I have to go catch my plane. So feel free to hang out. I have the room till 11. You can sleep in. You know, he was very, very kind.
Yeah.
Very sweet guy.
Sounds like
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, have a safe flight. And I just like went to go back to sleep because, you know, I was definitely hungover.
Right.
And then I realized that I had parked the night before in a street parking zone.
Oh,
and
no.
in LA, you can get your car towed if you know, if it's in the wrong spot, or you get a ticket.
Right.
I couldn't remember which side I had parked on, so I was like, all right, fuck it. I need to get up anyways. I'll just get up and go to my car. So I get up and I start like, you know, putting on my things and everything, and I'm looking around for the romper that I wore, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like, you know, lifting up the sheets, looking in the blankets, looking under the bed, looking in the closet, looking in the trash, in the toilet, in the shower, in the bathroom. It is nowhere.
Did this man take your romper?
He took my romper.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack there.
He took my romper. I genuinely think it was just him like packing up his shit because his clothes were all over the floor.
Okay, so as he was
wild
panicking to getting ready, accidentally threw it in his suitcase or whatever.
So I was like, oh, fuck. What do I do?
Clothes.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, so what'd you do?
So I was like, in my head, I was trying to figure out, like, how can I makeshift a dress out of a pillowcase?
Oh, my God.
Like, how can I do this? And then,
no.
And then I was like, wait. Let's do the more rational thing, and let's call up my best friend and see if she can come pick me up.
There you go.
So I called her. Mind you, it's still like 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, people are sleeping in, and I'm calling and calling and calling, and this woman is not picking up. Finally, she calls me back. And she's like, hey, Marissa. What's up? And I'm like, I'm so sorry to wake you up. And I'm so sorry to ask you of this. But I am legit stranded in my fucking Spanx, which are like really tight, like short underwear. Yeah.
We know what Spanx are.
Yeah. Okay. And then
we're all adults here.
We're from we're from around the way.
Okay,
you know
all right. I didn't know. But yeah, so I'm like in my Spanx and underwear and like bra and shit, and she comes in, this godsend of a woman with a set of clothes.
Yeah.
And
The word from around the block.
But yeah, she comes and saves the day with, an extra pair of clothes and everything. But
what a sweet friend.
Yeah, but that was definitely like a crazy experience. I definitely want to make a short out of it where I end up actually making a dress out of a pillowcase.
Yeah,
But
that's a fantastic story, by the way.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I think so too.
That's going on TikTok.
Yeah. But yeah, so I want to make it so where she's like cutting holes in the thing for like her arms to go through.
Yeah.
But in the midst of cutting it, the knife breaks. Like the plastic knife from the takeout before breaks, so she can't like rip the pillowcase. And so she literally is like strutting it with messy hair, smeared makeup, and like one arm still tucked in the pillowcase because she couldn't cut a hole.
My God.
And the other arm out holding her
fashion,
purse.
baby.
Yeah.
And just rocking it. Like I want
That's
her to
amazing.
fucking strut out of that
That is
motel
a
room.
look.
Yeah.
So this is like a sketch you want to make?
Yeah.
That's dope. Would it be like the same build up and everything?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like based on real events? That's
Yes.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
know. I really want to make it.
That's
I think it'd be
dope.
really funny.
Well, your directorial debut's coming up, so
That's
you
true.
got more time to plan that stuff out. So that is a phenomenal story. I love that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of coming up on time here in a little bit, but I got a couple more things. When you moved here, that was your first time ever coming here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Overall impression so far, and is it suitable for you?
Yeah, I like it a lot better than LA.
Yeah.
I, of course, miss my friends and miss the people and the places that I would go and whatnot. But like as far as scenery, it's actually a lot similar to Hawaii. Like the greenery, the forests, and like the lushness.
Yeah. Is it humid in Hawaii like it is here? So it's kind of similar. Is it more? I'm sure it's more there, right?
No, less
Really?
because we get trade winds.
So
So and
So
we're
yeah,
not like
our hot ass air just sits there.
Yeah,
It doesn't
dude.
move.
Nah,
It's just thick.
terrible.
And it's also because like you're surrounded by forests, like it's little gaps in between the forest, whereas
Yeah,
Hawaii is just like a thick forest, but then you go out and it's like, there's multiple terrains there. So we have, I think it's one of the most versatile places in the world because we
Yeah.
have like desert and then rainforest and then like savanna and I don't remember
Shit,
what other fucking terrain shit.
Geography, yeah.
Yeah.
So, oops.
But yeah, it's very similar, and the people are very nice in comparison to LA.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like LA is just going to be super cutthroat and everyone's trying to get up on one another. So it's like,
It's very fake. Like you
yeah,
create,
everyone's fake nice.
Yeah, you create a lot of relationships, and then like you realize that those relationships aren't real when
Like when you actually need something.
Yeah, yeah. It's very superficial.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what Jordan was saying.
It's
in
more
his episode.
optics
There's a lot
than
of
anything, I
superficial
feel
stuff.
like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you also like, of course, there's also really great people, Jordan, for
Yeah.
example. But like, there's like the core.
He's all right. He's all right.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
But like, there are of course like the core people that you're gonna meet, and
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're a good person, you attract other good people, and
Allegedly.
allegedly. But like you find your tribe, and
Yeah.
it's more like that outer people that tend to be a little bit more surface based. But
Have you made more friends here? You said you missed your friends, but have you made some here? It's kind of hard to make friends as an adult,
yeah,
especially not
it's-
being in school and things like
right. It's weird. Like the majority of my friends are people who were originally his friends.
Right.
And
Right.
so
You're just friends with them by
that.
yeah.
Association. and
Yeah.
Kind of getting to know. Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah,
it's different.
It is different. It's a good thing he makes good friends. I'll put it that way.
For sure.
It would be really shitty if like I didn't like any of his friends.
That-
Yeah.
no, that'd be
definitely.
terrible.
Definitely.
But he surrounds himself with really good people. But yeah.
All right. I got a couple more things, just kind of rapid fire to close out here.
Right.
Favorite animal and why?
Oh God.
quick now.
I heard
do
you-
it now.
A dog.
Heard you love animals. So,
I do.
okay,
They're
okay.
all my favorite.
You love all animals.
All of
I
them.
love them.
All right,
Dogs
let's
are
see.
great.
What
but
about
I'll-
those British looking ones?
They're fine. I love
They're fine.
I love
Long faces.
dogs, animal, like anything. Cats, dolphins, whales.
So lover of all
Porcupines.
creatures
Yeah.
of sea and land.
They're
Gotcha.
just cute.
What about air? Like birds?
I love birds. Birds are the shit. They're so intelligent.
3-level animal lover.
Right.
Anyways, so favorite horse riding memory.
Oh God. Favorite horse riding memory was, I mean, probably the time he took me out.
Aw.
He-
Jordan.
Was that for our anniversary or for my birthday?
That was our anniversary.
Anniversary. How
Yeah.
sweet.
So.
1 year?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
2 years.
2 years? Damn.
This year.
Have you guys been dating 3 years now?
Almost 3
Almost
years.
3 years?
It'll be 3 years.
2023 it'll be 3.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because it was.
We just
It was
mark
December when,
we just
yeah.
mark it like January 1st, 2020 is like the
Yeah.
Yeah, because that
How
was like
cute.
the day we started, like, stopped hooking up with other people or like stopped seeing other people, you know.
Yeah. Made it
Um,
official, exclusive.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
But yeah.
Awesome. So last thing, favorite genre of music and why?
Oh man.
Because I know you're very musical.
I love music. I don't think that there's a favorite genre that I have. I listen.
What top 3 favorite right now?
Honestly, I would say, is it post-hardcore?
Oh wow.
Metalcore?
Brandon's rubbing off on you?
Yeah, like what have you
I've-
been listening
I've-
to recently?
Yeah, that's
I
a
would
good one.
I would say that's up there. I just recently got back into the gym, and so that's definitely like up there in my playlist.
Yeah.
I've always listened to harsher music because my brother, like growing up, he was into like Rage Against the Machine
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
Nirvana, and so like harsh
Fuck yeah.
vocals were always in my world.
Did you like System of a Down?
Oh yeah.
Fuck
Oh yeah. Yeah, so my brother
Bangers.
heavily influenced me at a young age when it came to music.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I did not
harsher-
expect that though. So that's interesting.
because my mom was more of like the classic rock. My dad was like the jazz and like Spanish influence, and then my brother was more of like the rock and like pop influence.
Metal
and
stuff.
so I have like a really collective group of
You're
music.
well informed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that definitely like Jason Mraz. I love Jason Mraz.
Okay,
I've been
yeah.
listening to him a lot recently. And then what else? Morrow. Yeah,
What's Morrow?
She's
Oh, is that I thought that was a genre.
yeah, no genres. I don't limit myself
don't
to
do
genres.
genres.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the artist and not the label.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
Um,
do you listen to hip hop or rap or
Yeah,
anything? You do? So you
yeah.
listen to everything?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good to have like well-rounded playlists and tastes in music.
It's
'cause,
more
like,
fun that way, you
Exactly.
know?
Like, what are your Spotify
'Cause you-
daily mixes like you
Yeah.
try to do to
God.
your music? Because mine, it's all over the place. I can imagine.
Yeah, I don't even know. I literally don't look at Spotify unless it's my gym playlist or the liked playlist where I literally have every
Just
song
all
that
your
I've ever
songs.
liked.
Yeah.
And I just shuffle that. So
My-
I don't.
My liked songs is kind of crazy.
Man.
Hell yeah.
y'all don't even know, man. Y'all don't even know. This is really
Pretty
off
sure
topic.
I've got like some George Michael. Like,
Oh, really?
up there.
That's
It's like
like
mixed with like
80s
Baby
stuff.
Tron or like
Yeah,
some crazy
Right,
shit.
right.
Like there was a song by Nicki Minaj that I used to love like a decade ago called Va Va Voom. Y'all know that song? Probably not. It's smash hit by Nicki Minaj.
Smash hit. banger.
Rediscovered it last night and I was like, damn, I used to love the song. Added that shit to the playlist.
Hell yeah.
Got, a bunch of Playboy Cardi in there too. Just recent stuff I've been putting, ton of Travis Scott, The Weeknd. I love everything. The only thing I don't listen to is is country, just because it's a little slow and I can appreciate it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Ever since I moved to the South, I've stopped listening to country.
You listened to it before?
Yeah.
Because you've seen the reality. of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
No, I think it's because I saw the type of people that associate themselves with country,
Yep,
and I was
that'll
like,
do it.
I don't want to be that
Yep.
type of
I'm
person.
not
That'll-
that person.
That'll do her.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So this was awesome. That's all
Yeah,
I
this
have
was
for
really
you so
fun.
far.
Thank
This
you for
this
coming
was
on.
I think
Fuck
this is
yeah.
my favorite episode so far.
Hell yeah.
Just because like the
Woo.
wide range of
And range
of topics and everything.
Am I your first girl that you've had on?
You are the first
Yes.
female. Yeah.
We are
Yes.
escaping the misogyny.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Hell
Accusations.
Yeah,
to this one.
we're
Hell yeah.
we're beating the anti-woman agenda. That sounded
Maybe don't
horrible.
say beating.
Listen.
Yeah, let's not use that word. Okay.
As soon as I said it, I was like, whoa. Let me bring that back a little bit. I'm sorry, because I was thinking beating allegations.
Right.
Like,
Man,
you
we're
know.
beating the fuck out of these allegations.
Okay.
Let's say beating more.
Yeah, let's not do that. So anyway, yeah, this was great. Thank you for coming on. This was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you everybody for watching. Anybody who's listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok clips, YouTube, of course. If you guys made it to this point, you guys are awesome. Leave a comment, leave a like, share it, of course. And if you guys enjoyed, all that stuff. I think I already said that. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.